Malaysian companies are increasingly embracing ESG practices to stay competitive, relevant, and support global sustainability. Yet the true progress, especially among smaller firms, remain uncertain. Micole Goh from Ipsos provides insights into this matter.
So when we compare, for example, if you look at large multinational corporations that are operating in highly exposed sectors in terms of ESG risks, such as natural resources, FMCG, and those export-based companies, you see they're a bit more proactive in that sense to address ESG issues. Whereas when we look at smaller companies and those who are operating in less regulated sectors, you see that there is a slower adoption rate for ESG. Probably also because of resource constraint and also the lack of awareness about the potential benefits. So overall, while we see there is a growing awareness in terms of ESG among Malaysian companies, there is still progress in terms to be made, especially in terms of fully integrating ESG considerations into corporate strategies and also their decision-making processes.
Micole also highlights the lack of standardization across industries when it comes to adopting an ESG framework.
When we look at regulatory framework as a whole, while we know there are regulations and also guidelines in Malaysia to guide and also to help companies in terms of their sustainability reporting and also corporate governance, they may not necessarily be enforced uniformly across all sectors, thus presenting a challenge, especially in terms of standardization. So this actually makes it very difficult for investors, companies, and stakeholders to actually measure their performance against the industry and also to understand where they stand in terms of adopting ESG. So as such, looking into all this, it is important to recognize, you need to have a certain understanding of standards that is available. For example, by adopting, things like GRI or Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, SASB, all this could actually help address the challenges and also the issues when we look at ESG practices and reporting in Malaysia.
Micole also shares what is needed for small and medium enterprises to be successful in their ESG journey. She emphasizes the need for SMEs to properly assess their business strategy and see how ESG can best fit into it.
So organizations and companies first need to take a step back. They need to think about what they should be focused on and not just jumping into the act without having a proper strategy in place. So businesses need to ensure that their goals are built on the fundamentals of their objectives. So we need to understand, what are the current impacts of the business? What would be the changing consumer and also customer attitudes, your business value, and of course, at the end of the day, your ability to execute the strategy. So businesses will then be able to find themselves at a spot where we refer to as sustainability sweet spot. So how do we do it? So it is also, again, because ESG is such an incredibly broad topic, it is important to first being able to identify where you stand in terms of your ESG performance and what you should be prioritizing next, and ultimately to assess the impact of your ESG investments into your business. So essentially, ESG is all about getting your responsibilities right, getting your priorities right, as what we call through the ACE checklist. So which is authenticity. Do we understand your focus? What is important for your business? What is important in terms of what represents and resonates your brand most? Credibility. How can we be responsible to your business stakeholders? How can we align to the internal and also external stakeholders' realities as well? And of course, finally, in terms of effectiveness, how can we ensure that our business or the businesses actually creates social changes, and also it helps to drive our business sustainability moving forward.